Welcome back to the Philadelphia Flyers Junior Hockey pregame show, and we are excited to bring the pregame edition of Shutey Says. It's the first time we've done this in a while. Shutey, good to see you again. How's it been since I last saw you?
It's been pretty good, DJ. Unfortunately, you weren't here last night. You missed a pretty good one.
I know. I missed the big win last night against the Islanders, the 6-3 final. Shutey, for those of us who weren't there last night, talk about that big win.
It was huge for the Flyers. They played with great energy. We did see how in the Star Series when they got down by a couple, I don't want to say they totally packed it in, but it just wasn't very good hockey after that. Well, they found themselves down 3-1, and they just absolutely fought their way back. And there was a highlight reel goal scored by Brendan Ferguson that Altman, he won the faceoff, and he got the puck up out of his own blue line. He just went end to end and just roofed a backhander right over the goaltender's shoulder. It was a beautiful goal.
You mentioned Brendan Ferguson. That is a perfect segue into my next question. Obviously, the play of Ferguson last night really pushed the boys to a win. What did you see out of him through that entire 60 minutes?
He just didn't stop moving his legs. I mean, he was just like the Energizer Bunny. Somebody just wound him up, and he just kept going and going and going. I mean, and they just piggybacked right off of his energy, and they just played an outstanding game last night. It was definitely the best effort I've seen all year.
How did Adam Mercer look in goal to you last night on the back end? Obviously, he got the start, and he's been getting a decent amount of the starts lately. How did he look to you?
Yeah, and Tom and I talked about this on the intermission version of Shutey Says, and Adam was very solid. He didn't have to do anything spectacular, but he just did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was great on his angles, and it was just a very simple game for him, and he was able to just, not let anything really get by him.
Moving into today's game, what is the importance of this game today? Obviously it's the last game before the holiday break. 2 points in this game for the Flyers can get us to within 2 points of the Islanders in the standings. How big is this game?
This game is huge. Another 2 points here. You could just see the morale of the team of how excited they were after a big win, because unfortunately so far this season, wins have been a little few and far between. But the excitement of the boys after the win, this would be huge to get a series sweep here this weekend, especially against the Powell Junior Islanders, a team that for some reason has given them fits through all 4 years of this league's existence. And to get 4 points against them has got to do wonders for the club.
You mentioned the, kind of the energy the boys have. When I was coming in, they were warming up outside, and it definitely seemed a little bit looser than I've seen recently. Shutey, I ask you this every game, so I have to ask you again. Other than Brendan Ferguson, because we already talked about him, who do you want to stand out in this game?
I'd like to see Mario Trepaya follow up again with his efforts last night. Mario was able to pot the game winner. He's a Voorhees native. We're right here at the Virtua Center Flyer Skate Zone in Voorhees. I think Mario, and again, we talked to him after the game. His energy was sky high. He wants more wins. Both him and Fergie said that's what they want for Christmas. They want more wins. So I think Mario is going to take things into his own hands and provide himself his own holiday present.
Without a doubt, some wins coming up would definitely help this team climb up in the standings. Shutey, good to see you. We'll talk to you in the second intermission.
All right, DJ, see you at Shutey Says Intermission.
We'll be right back on the Philadelphia Flyers Junior Hockey pregame show. Welcome back to Philadelphia Flyers Junior Hockey here on Hockey TV. It is time for our second intermission edition of Shutey Says with our PA announcer Ryan Shute. Shutey, we got a lot to talk about after what we've seen the last 2 periods. Talk about what you've seen from your spot down there so far.
All right, well, let's start with the first period. It's been a tale of 2 periods. I will start with that. So the first period, a little bit more offense coming from both sides, but especially the Flyers. J.R. Barone coming back tonight after serving a suspension last night, and he's in the lineup and he's playing with Vadim Vezyankin and Reed Bibb, and what a trio they've been in the first period. Each of them registering 2 points, and Vadim Vezyankin ending up being the recipient of the goals, and Bibb and Barone adding the assists. But now we'll go to the second period, which was completely defensive, and I will preface with Flyers held the Islanders to 0 shots on goal for the first 11 minutes and 7 seconds of that period. And during that 11:07, Powell had a power play, never got any shots through. The Flyers were leaving them no shooting lanes whatsoever to get pucks through to Adam Mercer, who's also, again, playing a heck of a game. And it's pretty much the same thing I'm seeing from him tonight that I seen last night. He's just doing what he has to do to stop pucks. He hasn't had any crazy spectacular saves, but he's just doing whatever it takes to stop pucks.
So it's a tale of two periods in a good way for this Flyers team. Let's talk about the Vazjankin goals, because I have to say the second goal was an absolute beauty, and it all started with the play of Reed Bibb right at the blue line.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've noticed with Bibb in particular. I'll point him out here. Is the last two nights he's been absolutely spectacular. He had a huge shorthanded breakaway goal last night. And, I mean, you could see he was running out of gas, but he just gave everything that he had left in it to get down the other end and put the goal in to, add some insurance to last night's game. And then just what a heck of a play by Bibb, starting it from the blue line and, setting Vazjankin up for his, I believe that was his first goal or second goal.
That was the second goal.
That was the second one, yes.
Shutey, something I wanted to talk about but completely skipped my mind for the pregame was talk about what you've seen from this team. They're missing arguably their best offensive player in Nick Polsinelli. They're also missing a huge piece on the back end in Rich Brusco. How has this team looked to you without those two players through 5 periods so far?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Richie Brusco and Nick Polsinelli are huge parts of this team. Fortunately, the way that the level of play from these kids right now is they're not missing a beat. And if they can continue this level of play and you get Nick and Richie back, I mean, this team looks like they could make a run up the standings a little bit.
It would be nice. What happened, so we could get the official word, since what happened at the end there?
Okay, so at no time left, the original call was to number 91, Kai Kaposi, on the boarding minor, and then Kyle Walter came to the aid of his teammate. I'm actually not sure who got ran, but he came to the aid of his teammate and kind of brought Kaposi down to the ice a little bit, and some rough stuff took place, so Walter and Kaposi each got roughing, so the Flyers will end up on the good side of those calls, and they still have to kill 1:04 left of 4-on-4 time, rather, to get themselves finally to the power play that'll have 56 seconds to do whatever they can.
Shutey, we've got 20 more minutes of Flyers hockey here in 2016. Obviously, we'll see the boys again in a couple weeks. What do you want to see from goaltending, defense, offense, what have you? What do you want to see to get the Flyers a win here in this one?
I want to see what some like to call boring hockey. I want to see a defensive shutdown period here, and I don't care what the score shows. If it stays 2-1, that's perfectly fine with me. Just let's survive this 4-on-4. If we can add some goals, that's great. And if not, let's get out of this 4-on-4, get on that power play. Maybe we'll pop one there, but I don't care about the scoring. Let's just play good defensive hockey. Let's get pucks above the red line and get them in deep.
I agree. Shutey, happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year to you. We'll see you on January 12th.
Same to you, DJ. See you next year.
We'll be right back. Philadelphia Flyers hockey on Hockey TV.